Hi everyone, this is Doug Motter with Highland Electronics, and I have Carrie from TE. We're just gonna give it a few minutes to let people get in. We see them logging in, so if you just hang in there with us for a few minutes, we're gonna let people join the webinar, and then we'll start in a few minutes. Thank you. We'll give it just a few more minutes, and then like at around 2:03 or so, we'll get started. Okay, thanks for your patience. We'll get started. Once again, this is Doug Motter with Highland Electronics. I'm the supplier business manager for Highland, handling TE connectivity. And then we also have Carrie from TE, who is the product manager in charge of tooling. So first of all, really thank the engineering community from our customers to jump on and take the time to get on this webinar. We really appreciate it. We know there's been a lot of changes with Pancon going out of business, and a lot of people moving from MASCON and LATCON, looking for solutions with TE MTA. A lot of different tooling for MTA versus what was used with the Pancon product. So we thought it was a good time to get this webinar out and share all the tooling information for MTA with our customer base. So thanks for doing that. And again, thanks for TE for working closely with Highland to get the webinar put together so we could get this out to everybody. As we're going through this, you'll see a chat function, hopefully. If you have any questions on tooling or even on a product, if you could just put your question in the chat, and after the webinar, we will read off the questions and get you your answers after the webinar is complete. So the webinar is not going to last too long, maybe 20, 25 minutes, and then we'll get to the Q&A, and hopefully we'll get all your questions answered.
Perfect. Okay, thank you, Doug. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening to those of you who are joining us today. I'm happy to speak with you today about the TE MTA tooling, but I think that where we should start, and just an overview, and Doug's going to jump back in here, is what exactly is MTA product? So let's start with the basics, and Doug, I'm going to turn it back over to you real quick to go over TE's MTA 100, and then we'll do one slide on the 156 and then jump into the tooling piece. So it's all yours.
All right, thanks. So hopefully most everybody's familiar with the product, obviously, since you're probably using it already. MTA 100. Again, this product has been around for a while. 100 center line, wire to board product. 28 to 22 gauge wire, 100 center spacing. Your standard 94 VO and V2 flammability ratings. Also has a wire-to-wire configuration. You can end-to-end stack it. So very versatile, used in many, many applications. There are strain reliefs available. There are dust covers available. There's keying plugs available. So again, this product's been out for a long time. Very simple to use. I'm sure all you have equipment for it, or your board house has equipment for it if they're doing the board side. And the cable side is really where most of the tooling issues are. If you're using any of the MLSS, MLAS, Pancon headers, this is the drop-in replacement for that. Next slide.
Sure.
On the 156 center, very similar, just a larger spacing, a little larger current, 600 volts, 7 amps, and it handles 18 to 26 gauge wire, 2 to 24 positions. So again, wide position availability. Also has the same accessories available: strain relief, dust cover, keying plugs, and again, lots. You can use ribbon cable, you can use discrete wire. Really been a great product for many, many years out in the marketplace for TE. Really have been selling it for decades, no real quality issues ever. So been a great product for a long time, and I'm sure you're all familiar with it. So after that, I'll turn it over to Carrie to get into the tooling.
Great, Doug, thank you so much. And before I get started here with the tooling, probably just introduce myself really quickly. Again, my name is Carrie Beaugret. I am the North America Product Manager for Portable Tools for TE Connectivity, and that does cover all of the MTA tooling that TE offers as well. I've been with the company for 10 years in various capacities. I've been a product manager for a year now. Prior to that, I was a sales manager or sales account manager, customer service manager, a supervisor, an inside sales rep, and various other things as well. So I have been around portable tools for a very long time. And I'm happy to talk to you today specifically, excuse my dog barking, I knew that was going to happen, regarding the MTA tooling. So MTA tooling, what is it designed for? What is it designed to do? And I think this is pretty basic. You guys should understand, what it does. It takes the wire and stuffs it into the connector system there, and it creates a connection by basically doing an IDC crimp. So you can see in some of these close-ups exactly what happens. Right, it goes into that slat, it creates a connection through the insulation displacement right there. Okay, just wanted to give you a quick visual on how that tooling works. So basically what we're going to do is go through the process of low volume, mid volume, and high volume, and what TE has to offer in all three of those spaces. So let's start with low volume and prototype first. You may be familiar, particularly with this tool right here, the 58074-1. I know Doug and his team sell quite a few of these. This is really made for prototypes, okay? It's a plastic kind of pistol grip style tool with interchangeable heads. And these heads right here, like I said, they're interchangeable. So you have one for 100 and one for 156. And here's a nice close-up for you right here. And then right in this area, there is an adjuster insertion rod right here for setting up the wire insertion depth. So there's no adjustment right here in the head, but there is right here on the in the insertion rod. Okay. On the left-hand side here, you see a really useful kind of cross-reference matrix that shows you the various discrete ribbon, cable to board, or board to board. options that TE has, along with the associated hand tool. So you have the manual and the pneumatic, and then the associated crimp head that goes with those products. So we're trying to make it really easy for you and for the Highland team to assist you in making sure that you're getting the correct tool for your application. I'm going to show you here in a little bit how to get to a one-page document on the TE website, or you can contact your Highland rep and get that one-pager as well. But this is a really great reference tool for you as you're going through these low volumes and then higher volume MTA products. Okay, so let me talk a little bit about this tool right down here. So this is the pneumatic hand tool equivalent to 58074-1. The only difference is the power. This is manually powered, this is air powered. It's the same basic idea. It's got a canister right here. The air goes in, and then you take this same head that you're using in the manual tool and you're putting it into this pneumatic tool. The one thing I do want to caution you, okay, is when you're using this pneumatic tool, you want to make sure that you're using the -2 crimp head. And what I mean -2, this is 58246-2. Okay, in this case it's a -3, but most of the case it's a -2. This is a stronger head. There is a -1 version that is made strictly for prototypes. And if you take that head and put it into this pneumatic crimp tool, you will break it. So your best bet is to go with the -2. Right, let's skip into some of our mid-level volumes. And when I mean mid-level volumes, I'm saying anything that's 100 crimps per day, up to about 200 crimps per day. So I don't think that you want your operators going through repetitive stress injury or worrying about manually loading all of those connector systems into that new manual head. So we have created some mid-level volume tooling that will definitely help reduce that stress injury component and also give you a better output. So very similar to the previous slide, you'll see that we have a nice matrix here for your reference, and we'll just walk through this real quick, okay? So let's start with 58338-1. That's this tool right here, and that is also a pneumatic hand tool, but it has a bench mount option with a foot pedal. Okay, and what that does is it allows your operators in your manufacturing process to have their hands free so that they can load the connector into the head here, into the crimp head, and unload at the same, like once it goes through the crimp process. So this is definitely going to, again, reduce your repetitive stress injury, but also give you a better output and a better force control on this particular product. If you're not into the air and you want to go with an electric model, we do have an electric bench unit, which is shown for you right here. Same head, so this crimp head, it goes right in here. So the very modular design. So you can go from the manual tool into this pneumatic or into this electric bench. So you just plop that guy right in there. There are feed tracks that you can attach to this as well if you'd like to do that. I can help you with that, or anybody within the Highland team can also help you with accessorizing this electric bench mount unit. And if we look at down here, okay, we're going to show you a ribbon cable option and the insertion tooling that goes into a ribbon cable. Yes, it kind of looks like a dinosaur, but I promise you that it works. And if it works, we're not going to mess with it, right? So this is a legacy product for us. The tooling has been working for ages, and there is no point in messing with it if it works well. So basically what happens is you take this air harness tool, so that would be in one of these spaces. This is the 58242 tool, and then you make sure that you're putting the proper crimp tooling in here. It latches in, there's two safety latches, there's a guide. You line up all of your your wires, you do one compression of the trigger, and everything goes in at the same time. So that's how this one works. And if you have questions about this one in particular, we do have engineering support on the line with us today, so they'll be able to walk through exactly what happens in this particular tool. All right, we're gonna jump into some of our semi-automated options for higher volumes. And when we say higher volumes, we are looking at 200 plus crimps per day. And yes, there are visuals of this, and I'll show you in a minute exactly what all of these things are and go through them from a visual perspective. But again, you have a really easy matrix here of how to go from your discrete ribbon cable to board or board to board type of connector system into either the pneumatic or the electric or the air harness tool and what the associated heads and accessories are. So by setting this up for you, we're really hoping that you're able to find a solution that works for you in a quick manner and that the Highland team can make sure that you get quoted really, really quickly. I'm going to jump real quick to the TE website because I want to show you a couple of things. Okay. The first thing is if you go to te.com and then find the application tooling page, there is a landing page for MTA tooling. And if I scroll up here, it should look like this. Okay. And then when you scroll down, which we all love to scroll, I know, there's some pictures of some of the TE tooling that's available to you. But right here, there is the MTA Portable Tooling Solutions brochure. And when you click on this brochure, what comes up is this. It's basically a one-page flyer, so it's a front and back. And as I was telling you before, there's those easy matrices for you to go from your type of wire to your MTA 100 or 156 crimp head and the appropriate frame or pneumatic and electric bench unit. That's on the first page. And also down here, remember I said when we were looking at low volume, if you're looking for repair or prototype work, here is that head for the prototype work. So it's a -1 head instead of that -2. But please, if you are doing anything more than prototypes or repairs, make sure you're going with that -2 option that's recommended up here. The second page is all of your visuals and some key attributes of each of these things. So on that last slide, I was telling you at 200 plus crimps per day, we have some higher volume options. So we do have an air bench tool right here. This is almost like a press. It has a foot pedal. Here are all of your key things right here. Okay. We do have the interchangeable heads that go into either the manual tool, the pneumatic tool, this electric bench mount, or you can use them in the arbor frame too. That's all there for you. And there is a maintenance tool or insertion tool that you can utilize if you need to. This is all referenced here for you in this one-page document. Again, we can make sure you get it through Highland or you can get it through the TE website. The other thing that I want to show you is that on this same page, so if I go back, there is a video that shows you how to crimp this MTA connector using the manual hand tool. And we went with the manual hand tool because the idea is the same with the manual versus the pneumatic. It's just that with the manual, you're using manual power. So I want to show you this video really quickly in hopes that it gives you a better idea of how basic tooling for MTA works. So let me hit play. Hopefully this works for us. Okay, so we're going to load the MTA connector in there. Make sure that the connector is properly seated. You release the handle and that advances the connector to insertion 1. You manually load the wire, depress the handle, and that creates the IDC connection. The connector automatically moves one position at a time. And that same thing, you just keep repeating until you get to the end of your connector. And there you have the crimp for the IDC on the manual. So hopefully this is of use to you. We have also included in here how to clear a jam if it does occur. I don't want to go through that right now. Very rarely does it happen, but it does. So we can work through that with you if you have any questions, or just take a look at this particular video and it will show you how to do it. So let me go back to my presentation here real quick. A couple more slides for you, so get your questions ready. Let's talk about manufacturing for a minute. One of the coolest things I think about the MTA tooling product line for us is that all of it is made right here in the United States. So our facility is in Waynesboro, Pennsylvania, which is on the PA-Maryland borderline, kind of in central Pennsylvania. Our team there is incredible. They have decades of experience. We ship globally right from that facility. We have state-of-the-art manufacturing and assembly all located under one roof. And the picture that you see right there is the actual facility for our Waynesboro plant. We, from a product management standpoint, have constant connection with the team in Waynesboro, and we are very confident in their ability to meet your requirements and your demands. So keep that in mind when you think TEMTA and TEMTA tooling. It is the American-made tooling. Now, where do you go if you have questions? So, of course, you can contact TE, but we're recommending that you reach out to your local Highland partner, or you can email or call them at the general phone number and email address that you see there. Or feel free to contact Doug and anybody on his team to make sure that you're getting your MTA needs and your tooling needs met. So for sure, we like partnering with Highland to make sure that you are getting everything that you need from an MTA perspective. So that is everything that I wanted to cover today. We are going to move into Q&A. So if you have those, make sure that you are typing them into the chat and we will go through them.
And this is Doug again, real quickly. Highland has a 30-day loaner program for TE hand tools. So if you need to borrow an MTA hand tool to see how it works in your application or give it a go, we have those in stock. Just let us know. But also if you have other TE products that you need to borrow a hand tool for, let us know, and we'll try to accommodate any request that comes in for a loaner hand tool.
Yep, that's a very good point. Thanks, Doug.
No problem.
We're just going to give it a second to see if any questions come in. Okay, we have a question here. It says, do I need to notch the ribbon cable to terminate it? And we do have engineering support on the line. So Bob or Chad, if you want to answer that question, that'd be great. Just unmute yourself.
Yeah, this is Bob. Yes, you do have to notch the ribbon cable when terminating it. We do have notchers. It can be done by hand, or we do have a notcher that'll actually do your notching for you. But yes, the cable would need to be notched in order to fit in the tool properly.
Thank you. I was looking to see if we had it written on here, but we don't.
It probably, I seen in the one slide you shown the air press.
Yeah.
That works with the notcher, and I think it might have listed the notcher there. I don't, if you go down to one of the later slides.
Yeah, I don't see it on here, but yeah, we do have ribbon cable notchers.
Go to the, oh, maybe it's not on this. It was one where you had all the there was like a column on the left and a column on the right. It was different tooling. It kind of showed all the tooling.
Oh, okay. Was it this one?
Yeah, right there. Okay. 2,700 pound, Notch cable, it doesn't say the part number. Available with
Yeah,
ribbon
just
cable
mentions it.
notcher assembly. But that's what you can use the notcher for. But yeah, it has to be notched.
Okay. Thank you, Bob.
Yep.
Okay, we have another question here. It says, we are doing thousands of crimps daily. Are there any feed track systems that are available? And Bob, I'm going to turn that one over to you as well.
Yeah, so for both 156 and 100, we have a feed track that would work in either the 58338-1 or the 931800-1.
So it's both of these right here.
Yep. Yeah, the way that the 58338 is shown there, it's shown mounted in a vertical position. That bench mount will mount on either side. So when you use the feed track, you would actually flip it to the side that the other side, so it's facing down.
Yeah. So the head's on the bottom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can use it that way if you're just doing a single head. Sometimes it's easier to see, but when you put the feed track on, you need to flip it. And the feed track is the same whether it's for either one of those tools or either one of those power units. There's the head is actually a part of the feed track, and it's a longer life head, not like the dash one or whatever. It's a metal, all metal components for high volume.
Yep. Okay, another question. Can Pancon tooling be used interchangeably with TE MTA tooling? The answer to that is no. Have to use TE MTA tooling with TE MTA connectors. You cannot interchange with Pancon. Okay. Question, any wire advice? For example, does this work with Teflon coated wire? Bob, I'm not sure if you know the answer to that, or Melissa.
I want to say no. I think the spec, it's not so much the tooling that it doesn't work with. It's the connector. I think on our MTA 114 spec, it calls out what wire. I'm just pulling it up here. Yeah, so it says standard PVC thermoplastic insulation having a maximum diameter for 100 center line is 60 thousandths. So the spec references standard PVC thermoplastic insulation. So,
okay, thank you.
Teflon, or yeah, you said Teflon, right?
Yes, the question is specifically about Teflon coated wire.
Probably going to be a little slippy, gummy, might not get the rigidity you need to insert correctly. If a application was going to be determined with that kind of wire, the approval would probably have to go through the product group.
Okay, thank you. And Doug, this one is for you. What's the availability like? What are your lead times currently?
For the tooling or the connectors, I guess two of the questions. Obviously, we have a large supply of the connectors and headers in stock already. Certainly, some circuit sizes are more popular than others. As far as the tooling, we have stocked this tooling for a long time, but did go buy an extra large stocking package of MTA tooling to help our customers bridge the transition from Pancon to TE. So that stocking package is in. Obviously, it depends on what part number you're looking at, but we are well stocked for pretty much all the tooling that's represented here.
Okay, thank you, Doug. There's another question. Do you offer repair, service, and training for MTA tooling? The answer to all of that is yes. you will want to contact your Highland rep, and we will make sure that between Highland and TE that you are offered the services, the training, and the repair that you need. So we are well versed, both Highland and TE together, on making sure that our equipment is up to par and working. Anything, Doug, from your side that you want to add on the repair, service, and training?
No, just, I mean, that's, it's pretty rare, but if you need any kind of repair or service to your tooling, just contact your local Highland office and we can get it set up with TE.
Great, thanks. Another question on the wire. Does MTA accept UL style 1061 and 1007 wire? Melissa, I'm not sure if you're on. I think you are. Can you answer that question? Do you know?
If she can't, I can. I'm pretty familiar with that. That's standard.
Okay.
That's standard UL PVC wire, both 1061 and 1015. So it will accommodate both of those.
Okay. There is a
1007 too, I think, is one.
Yeah. Yep. 1007. It also takes UL 1371 Teflon in 22 and 26 AWG. The details are in spec 114-1019. So that's the simple answer to that question. If you need a copy of that spec, you can type it in at te.com or contact one of us after the webinar, and we'll make sure that you get a copy of it.
So it does say it can use the Teflon just in certain sizes?
Yes, it says UL 1371 Teflon in 22 and 26 AWG.
Oh yeah, I see. Okay, I didn't get to the last page, but yep, yeah, there's a bunch of different ones on there. Yep, I missed that.
And that 114 spec will include all the wires that can be used with the MTA series.
Yeah.
Correct. I stopped on page 1.
No problem. Thanks, Bob. Okay, that's all the questions that have come through so far. So Doug, I'm going to turn it back over to you to wrap us up for the day.
All right. Well, again, thank you, T, for helping us put this together. Thanks, all our customers and engineering community that jumped on to listen to this and learn a little bit more about the tooling that's available for TE MTA connectors. If you need a loaner tool, if you need any samples, you just need a quote, whatever you need. If you got an invite from the webinar, just email that person that invited you. If you got it through LinkedIn or another form, just go ahead and go to sales@highland.com and send us an email, and we'll route that to the right person and get you an answer as soon as possible. But again, can't thank everybody enough for taking the time. With that, we'll conclude the webinar. Have a good day.